The decision to get a dog is a very important step. This creature, in terms of the complexity of maintenance, upbringing and care, cannot be compared with any animal. Such a decision can be compared, perhaps with the desire to have a child. The first months the puppy leaves business cards everywhere, then his teeth begin to change, he must be fed with special food and taught commands. When the dog grows up, you need to continue to educate him, and also wash his paws after walking in the rain, walk with him, even if you feel bad and you are sick, and when the animal gets sick, you need to treat him at the veterinarian. And many irresponsible people abandon animals. Dogs without a home. When an adult domestic dog is on the street, it is very bad. Firstly, he may die, because he is not adapted to a comfortable life, where he does not have to get food and generally somehow take care of his safety. Secondly, at best, he will end up in a shelter, and at worst, he will die under the wheels of a car or from hunger in the first week of life on the street. If a dog is lucky to end up in a shelter, then there is only one way out of the shelter, to new loving owners. But, if this does not happen, then the animal will have to be euthanized, since most of the shelters in our country are private and have a limited number of places, so the death of an old-timer is an opportunity for another homeless dog to find loving owners. Pros of such a dog. Refusing to buy a thoroughbred dog and adopting an animal from a shelter is a very noble decision in itself. But, like any choice in life, it also has both pros and cons. But first, it is worth paying attention to the positive aspects of making this decision. You are taking an adult dog. On the one hand, this is a minus, which you will learn about below, but on the other hand, there is also a positive point in this. Taking home an adult animal, you avoid many of the difficulties that owners face in the first 2 years of a dog's life, endless washing of floors, nightly squeaks of a puppy that was taken from its mother and siblings, cutting teeth, and as a result, chewed furniture and shoes. You are saving an animal from certain death. It's no secret that it is a common practice in shelters to euthanize animals if they have not found new owners by a certain point. And the point here is not at all the cruelty of the owners and directors of shelters, but the fact that many animals find themselves on the street every day. While the shelter cannot contain an unlimited number of inhabitants. Therefore, euthanizing an animal is a terrible necessity that can give another dog a chance to find a home. You give your dog new life. Perhaps the dog you are adopting didn't even know what the love of the owners, delicious food and a roof over their heads are. But now her life begins literally with a clean face, she forgets what hunger and cold are, bullying by cruel people, endless searches for food and, finally, fleas. By adopting a dog from a shelter, you give it a happy and long life. The medical side of the issue. When a dog first enters the shelter, before looking for a new home, the staff takes care of its full treatment. The animal is removed from fleas and parasites, given all vaccinations and injections, treated for diseases, if any, and in some shelters even sterilized or castrated. As a result, you get a dog in your hands that has no health problems, and which only needs to be taken to the veterinarian for a routine examination a few times a year. Endless love and devotion. A dog is an animal in itself that loves a person and is ready to give him his love and warmth. And the dog that you saved by rescuing her from a not very pleasant place will be grateful to you for this all her life. In addition, an animal that has already been betrayed will appreciate the new owner and be afraid of losing him. Therefore, you will have no doubts about her love and devotion. Cons of such a dog. But any coin has two sides, so, of course, there are downsides to such a decision. There are pitfalls that can overshadow your joy from the appearance of a new family member in the house. Runaways. Some dogs are simply not suited to family life. This is especially true for dogs such as huskies and huskies. They need space and freedom, they are simply hyperactive and simply cannot live without endless races. Other dogs run away unintentionally after seeing a dog wedding, for example. And someone just loves freedom and hates the leash. Without knowing this, you run the risk of adopting a dog that will run away from you after a week of living together. Psychological trauma. Usually, shelter animals do not have the most rosy background, so you run the risk of adopting a dog that has difficulty communicating, afraid of loud noises, does not like children, or even behaves aggressively towards other people. Such behavior can be corrected with an instructor and a zoopsychologist, but one must be prepared for this. You are taking an adult dog. The pros have already been announced, now for the cons. An adult animal has its own character, which is more difficult to correct than a puppy. An adult dog has its own picture of the world and its own behavior patterns, which it will not give up without a fight. Sometimes, raising an adult dog can be very difficult. This is a very serious and responsible decision. Much more difficult than getting a puppy from a breeder. Because a puppy is a blank white sheet that can be customized, and a dog is a notebook sheet and at least half filled with her life experience. And not everyone is ready for it. Pig in a bag. You never know what will come across. Not all shelter owners are honest with visitors, and they can deceive you by advertising the dog as an exceptionally positive animal, but in fact, half of what is said will be untrue. To take or not to take. This is a rather difficult choice, which must be answered clearly and confidently. Because if you hesitate in making a decision, then you may not be ready for the difficulties that you will face. And for a creature that has already been betrayed by its owners, one more betrayal can be fatal. Are you thinking about getting a shelter dog? Let us know what you decide in the comments below. And if you know someone who's thinking about getting a shelter dog, please share this with them. If you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Otherwise, have a great day. Thanks for watching.